Alright, so first off, shout out to one of my fans, Majin. He asked for a Majin Buu deck, so I made one. And I was thinking about giving it a try, see if I can come up with a version that's fun and playable. I forgot to mention the name, Jan Carlos. I hope I pronounced it right. So let's move on. Alright, so the leader of course is Babidi, because once you start off with Babidi, you automatically get your dragon, your what's it called, Majin Buu sealed ball. Majin Buu sealed ball. There's only 2 in the deck. One will automatically be played onto your battle area once you start the game, and then there'll be 1 left in the deck that if you draw it later, you'll just use it as mana. As energy. So there's 2 just to take up space, so you can have a 50 card deck. But of course you could take 1 out and tech in something else, whatever you want. Maybe another Majin Buu card. Let's go back to the leader right quick. Alright, this way it'd be easier to read it for myself. Alright, so his front side, Babidi, auto, when you play this card in your leader area, choose 1 Majin Buu seal ball card from your deck and place it into your battle area in active mode. His awaken ability is when your life points is 6 or less, you can draw 2 cards and then flip them over. So it's really cool. When you have 6 life, you can flip them over instead of 4 life like all other leaders. Then once he's in his awakened form, he'll be Babidi, Creator of Evil, active main. Once per turn, choose 1 of your battle cards. It gains 5,000 power for the duration of the turn, which is very useful to give it to a battle card that can attack more than once. That's always useful. Or one that you can at least untap, right? You can go from rest to active and then attack again through some card effect. But that effect is obviously useful. A free power boost is always useful. Then his auto ability, once per turn, when your battle cards attack, draw 1 card. So that's really good. He doesn't have to attack to activate that. You can have any of your other battle cards attack to trigger that effect. You draw a card, right? Then you can place up to 1 card from the top of your deck under this card. So that's pretty good. It's a way, not under this card, under Majin Buu's sealed ball. That's where you want to put cards, obviously. So this will help you get your ball's effect active, because Majin Buu's sealed ball's ability is auto. Once per turn, when the number of cards under this card reaches 5 or higher, place this card to the drop area and then choose up to 1 Majin Buu revived from your deck and play it. Then shuffle your deck. The target for that card effect is Majin Buu revived, which is a 10 drop, 20,000 double strike with an auto ability. When you play this card with the skill of Majin Buu's sealed ball, inflict 1 damage to your opponent. This is a good way to finish the game. When your opponent only has 1 life left, you can play it. You can use the sealed ball's ability to summon Majin Buu revived and then finish your opponent off. So that's the main way you'll try to use it. You could get him out early game. He's decent, doing 1 damage, and then since he's a double striker, he can do 2 more damage when he attacks your opponent's leader. But this is mainly for flavor. I would try to opt out of not playing this. If I were to create a different version of this deck, I wouldn't play Majin Buu Revive. But for this profile, you know, we want to try out the Majin Buu Sealed Ball strategy. So it's 4 copies of Majin Buu Revive, so you can increase your chances of actually getting out the 1 Majin Buu Revive you're going to summon. The other ones will be used for energies, and if one of them ends up under Majin Buu Sealed Ball, you know what I mean, if you only had 1 in the deck and it ends up under this card, or it ends up in your life, that'd be kind of productive. You want it in the deck, so you have to play 4. I would want to play 1 just so I don't have too many of them in the deck, but you have to play 4 for this strategy to even be viable. Because at any time you could draw the card, anytime it could be in your life, you know, anytime it could be by Babidi's Awaken effect can end up putting that Majin Buu under the Majin Buu Sealed Ball, and that would defeat the whole purpose of the card. So you gotta play 4 for this strategy. Then we got Mind Controlling Babidi, which is really, really good, and it will definitely help you swarm the field, get a lot of cards on the field, a lot of attackers to do some heavy damage. Interesting enough, it does have the ability to let you summon Majin Buu Revived, but you will not get the 1 damage effect of Majin Buu Revived. So that's lame, but you can summon it with Mind Controlling Babidi. Mind Controlling Babidi's ability is auto. When you play this card, look at the top 7 cards from the top of your deck. Choose up to 2 red battle cards among them with 25,000 or less power, other than Evil Wizard Babidi, and play them. Then shuffle your deck. Obviously, so you don't swarm the field with a whole bunch of Mind Controlling Babidis and then a whole bunch of Boos, and then try to like end your opponent in 1 turn type of deal, right? So they make sure to add that clause into it. The thing sucks that Babidi cannot summon Grand Evil Absorption Majin Buu, but it can summon Awakening Evil Majin Buu, which has the effect that you can take a card from your hand and put it under Awakening Evil Majin Buu to use his Union Absorb ability, and then you can summon a Majin Buu battle card with 25,000 or more power from your deck and place it on top of Awakening Evil Majin Buu. And this just so happens to be 30,000, which is higher than 25,000, and it's a Majin Buu because its character name is Majin Buu. Just like this is a character named Majin Buu, he's a character named Majin Buu, but his own effect won't allow you to put himself on top of himself. But you can play Prodigy Absorption Majin Buu because he's a Majin Buu. So there are targets for it. Moving on, the awesomeness of Grand Evil Absorption Majin Buu. He's your main Majin Buu in the deck. He's the one you definitely want to get onto the field as soon as possible, and you know, do some heavy damage. He has 30,000 power, of course. He's a dual attack, so he can attack and then go from rest to active mode again, and then attack again. So he can attack twice, and he's 30,000. You can easily boost him to 40 or 50,000 relatively easy, and that'll make it really hard for your opponent to block. You know, to combo against, they'll have to use some type of negate card or something, right? He has active main. Once per turn, choose 1 Son Gohan Adolescence under this card, and for the duration of the turn, this card can attack battle cards in active mode and gain all the skills of the chosen card. That effect is not relevant because there's no Son Gohan Adolescence in the deck, but you can modify the deck to incorporate 1 into the deck to try to gain that ability. But the main thing is he's a 30,000 dual attacker, which is the main reason he's in the deck, and there's 4 of them because you definitely want to get him out as consistent as possible. Just for some extra tech options, especially since you're playing Babidi. Prodigy Absorption Majin Buu. He's a double strike, so he deals 2 damage when he deals damage. Permanent, if Gotenks is under this card, and if there are no other cards in your opponent's combo area, this card cannot be KO'd. There's no Gotenks, so you won't get that ability. But a 25,000 double strike is pretty good. He is. He is a Majin Buu, so he's a target, especially for Awakening Evil Majin Buu's effect and Babdi's effect. Then we have, of course, like we mentioned earlier, Awakening Evil Majin Buu. He has the Union Absorb ability. He also has Evolve. You can evolve him with 2 red energies on top of a red Majin Buu. They make sure it said red so you don't use the blue Majin Buu, the boosted blue Majin Buu. And then, of course, you have the ability to summon a Majin Buu from your deck onto the field on top of this card by putting 1 card from your hand onto him with his Union Absorb ability, of course. So essentially, he could become whatever he wants to become. The only thing he can't become is, ironically, a Majin Buu revived. But he can summon any of the other Majin Buus from the deck on top. And your main target you want would be Grand Evil Absorption Majin Buu, because he's a 30,000 double attacker. So being able to summon it on your 5th turn, thinning out your deck and getting the ability to attack twice for 30,000, not including the fact you can make him 35,000 easily with Babdi's active effect. Then we have the ability to search out any of the Buus. You can do whatever you want with them. With whatever Buus you get, the main one you want to obviously search for is this one when you activate the effect. Any of the other Majin Buus, you might want to keep them in the deck unless you want to use them for their 10k boost. So Hercules, Buu's assistant, you summon them. Look at the top 7 cards of your deck. Choose up to 1 red Majin Buu among them and add it to your hand and shuffle your deck. So it's a way of thinning out your deck, a way to plus to get extra Majin Buus.
What I did was you gotta click either Devlin's or Chris.
Then we got Saying Kaba. These are tech cards. All the cards I just showed you are the main core of the Majin Buu deck. Now we're going to just some red staple tech cards. Saying Kaba, pretty good. When this card attacks, choose 1 card in your life and add it to your hand. If you do, this card gains 10,000 power, so it'll make him a 15,000, and then he'll have double strike. So that's obviously decent, and that'll be until the duration of the turn. And because he took 1 card out of your life, this will help you self-awaken, help you awaken your leader, Babdi, into his awakened form, so that way you can start filling up your Majin Buu sealed ball to use Majin Buu sealed ball to obviously summon Majin Buu revived. So this is a way you can awaken your leader in the deck. If your opponent decides he doesn't want to attack, he wants to stall, you can awaken yourself. And you only need to use Kaba's ability twice in order to awaken, or use it once. Your opponent attacks you and you take the damage, and then boom, now you can awaken. Further destruction, Champa. Of course you can summon them in the deck, but typically you'll just use them for this combo effect where you pay 1 of anything, get 10,000 boosts, and get the effect of giving the card that you attack with, that you're giving the boost to, double strike. So whatever you have that doesn't have double strike, now you can give it double strike. The best target would be your dual attack, Grand Evil Absorption Majin Buu, because now he'll deal 2 damage every time he attacks, and since he can attack twice, that's 4 damage in a single turn, if your opponent does not stop you from dealing those 4 damages. See, most of this Majin Buu has double strike. This one does not, so you can give it to him. Babidi doesn't have double strike. This Majin Buu Revive does. So you see, there's a lot of double striking in this deck. We have Divine Aid Battles. She is your generic 0 cost 10k combo card. If you have 4 or less life, you draw a card and give 10,000 boost until the end of the turn to whatever you use this on. You could obviously use this on your Grand Evil Absorption Majin Buu, so that way he'll be 40,000. They can attack twice, and that'll make it really hard for your opponent to block 40,000. But if you combo it obviously with Further Destruction Champa, that's an extra 10,000, so that makes him 50,000, and he double strikes for 2 attacks. So that right there's a whole little combo that you can do with Grand Evil Absorption Majin Buu. So we have a 50,000 double striker, dual attacker. Make it hard for your opponent to block and deal a lot of damage in the process. Then here's the extra cards. Assassination Plot. Choose any number. Active main. Choose any number of your opponent's battle cards with total costs that adds up to 30,000 or less, and KO those cards. So this is, a nice simple board wipe, especially if you're trying to get rid of blockers so they can't block your attacks, or any cards on the field that your opponent could use to boost their leader to try to survive. Especially if your opponent has Slayer, Revenge, has battle cards for Revenge, you definitely want to get rid of them so they can't use them. Especially a blocker with Revenge, very dangerous, very dangerous. Then we have Vado's Assistance. It's your 1-drop negate. It's the red version of Whis' Cohesion, right? They get an attack, and then you may switch up to one of your battle cards to active mode. So that's very useful.
The next deadline is actually not very long. It's actually
you definitely want to stall until you succeed in pulling off your main strategy to get your Majin Buus on the field and get them to do some damage. Fickle Destruction is another kill spell. Active main, choose one of your opponent's battle cards with 12,000 or less power in the battle area and KO that card. This is a nice little cheap way of removing some blockers, anything problematic. Kaba's Awakening, pretty self-explanatory. Active battle, choose up to one of your red cards. It gains 6,000 power for the duration of the battle. It costs nothing to play, so it's obviously really good. It's definitely good when you're tapped out, because you can use it to to block, to boost one of your red cards, including your leader, in order to block an attack. You can also use it to boost surprise attack, boost one of your attackers, so that way you can try to bypass your opponent's defense and make sure your attack goes through. So gotta love those surprise attacks, those surprise combos. And that's the end of the video. Shouts out to Jan Carlos.
A lot of people are saying that he's really useful.